Cowboys Nation. This is one of those moments where you pause, take a deep breath, and really understand the magnitude of what we are talking about right now. Because if this move becomes reality, if this vision turns into action, the Dallas Cowboys are not just adding a player, they are adding a statement, a tone setter, a proven disruptor, and a message to the entire NFL that Dallas is not backing down, not rebuilding quietly, not settling for potential, but hunting for dominance. And that name is Trey Hendrickson in a Dallas Cowboys uniform. Let's be clear from the very beginning, this is a speculative scenario, but it is one rooted in logic, roster construction, and competitive urgency. Trey Hendrickson coming to the Dallas Cowboys would immediately reshape how opposing offenses prepare for Dallas on Sundays. This is not hype for clicks, this is football reality. Hendrickson is one of the most consistently productive edge rushers in the NFL over the last several seasons. A player who lives in the backfield, who collapses pockets, who forces quarterbacks into mistakes before plays even fully develop. That kind of presence changes games, and more importantly, it changes seasons. When you look at where the Cowboys are right now, entering the next season under head coach Brian Schottenheimer, there is a very clear identity shift happening. This team is building around discipline, physicality, and controlled aggression. Schottenheimer's philosophy is about balance, situational football, and making opponents uncomfortable for 4 quarters. Now imagine plugging Trey Hendrickson into that vision. You are talking about a defender who doesn't need exotic blitzes to win, who doesn't rely on gimmicks, who beats tackles with technique, power, and relentless motor. That is exactly the type of defender who thrives in a system that values consistency and execution. From a pure football standpoint, Hendrickson would instantly elevate Dallas's pass rush. Quarterbacks would no longer be able to sit comfortably in the pocket on 3rd down. Offensive coordinators would be forced to slide protections, keep tight ends in to block, chip with running backs, and that has a ripple effect across the entire defense. When you commit extra resources to stopping one edge rusher, you create one-on-one opportunities elsewhere. You speed up reads, you shorten routes, and suddenly turnovers start happening. Sacks don't just kill drives, they kill confidence, and Hendrickson is a confidence killer. And let's talk about the next season specifically, because this is where the excitement really builds. The NFC is wide open. There is no unbeatable powerhouse standing in Dallas's way. What separates contenders from pretenders in January is the ability to pressure elite quarterbacks without selling out in coverage. That has been the formula for championship defenses for decades. Trey Hendrickson brings that formula with him. He brings playoff-tested experience, he brings leadership in the defensive meeting room, and he brings a standard of effort that younger players naturally follow. You cannot measure that on a stat sheet, but teams feel it every snap. Another massive factor here is reliability. Hendrickson has shown year after year that he can produce regardless of matchup. He doesn't disappear when teams know he's coming. He doesn't need a perfect scheme fit to make an impact. He lines up, he studies his opponent, and he wins. For a Cowboys defense that wants to be feared late in games, especially in tight divisional battles, that reliability is priceless. 4th quarter, 1-score game, crowd loud, season on the line. That's when players like Hendrickson become worth every penny. Financially and strategically, yes, this would be a bold move. It would signal that Dallas is pushing chips toward the center of the table. But Cowboys Nation, let's be honest with ourselves. This franchise is built on legacy, on banners, on expectations that go beyond just making the playoffs. Moves like this are how you transform a good roster into a championship caliber roster. You don't win Lombardis by playing it safe. You win them by identifying proven difference makers and putting them in positions to do what they do best. There's also something to be said about culture. Trey Hendrickson is not a flashy talk-first player. He is a work-first player. He leads by preparation, by conditioning, by showing up every week ready to dominate. That fits perfectly with the direction Dallas is heading. Under Brian Schottenheimer, accountability matters. Effort matters. Trusting your assignment matters. Hendrickson embodies all of that. He would not just be a pass rusher, he would be a tone setter for the entire defense. So when you project forward into the next season, you can see it clearly. Dallas entering September with confidence, opposing quarterbacks circling the Cowboys game on the schedule and feeling uneasy. National media starting to talk about Dallas not just as a playoff team, but as a problem. That is what one elite edge rusher can do. That is how one move can shift narratives. And if Trey Hendrickson were to put on that star helmet, it would send a message that echoes across the league. The Dallas Cowboys are serious, they are focused, and they are coming. And that's why, Cowboys Nation, even as speculation, this conversation matters. It represents ambition, it represents belief, it represents a franchise that understands its window and refuses to waste it. Whether this move happens or not, the mindset behind it is exactly where it needs to be. The Dallas Cowboys should always be hunting for greatness, never settling, never hesitating to add proven firepower when the opportunity presents itself. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Trey Hendrickson would be the missing piece for this defense next season? Would you make that move if you were running the front office? Drop your thoughts in the comments, debate it with Cowboys Nation, hit that like button if you believe in this vision, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more real, honest, and passionate Dallas Cowboys coverage, because this story is far from over, and the star always shines brightest when the pressure is highest.